So I'm back? Yes. Yes, I am. I'm an idiot. So anyway. Waiting to see if anybody... I don't even know if it's really working right now on my Facebook. Oh, yeah, I could just put my Facebook on there instead of here. Oh, I'm an idiot. I forget how technology works because I stopped using my phone for my Facebook because I could just put it double on there and use the same camera stream instead of using my Facebook for the separate. I am not awake for today. But this seems different than it used to seem. I don't know. Wow. Someone came out from under his rock. Yeah, no, not really. No. I've been busy, bro. I've been working on music videos and stuff like that. So I haven't done painting things in forever. But, so here's today's painting. I'm going to paint a portrait of my own father for Father's Day. Now, a lot of people may go, hey, how do you paint a portrait? And normally people start out painting portraits. You need like a good reference photo. You know, that usually helps quite a bit, having a reference photo. Good, clear image of whom you're going to paint. Painting from memory is hard, you know, right? Because your memory becomes askew after some time. And so having a good reference photo to make it as realistic as possible. You know, bro, you paint portraits all the time. Phenomenally good painter of portraits. But when painting a portrait of somebody, like a mother or a father figure, you want to get it as accurate as possible, you know. So I decided today, being Father's Day, strangely enough, usually every year I take a picture with my dad. You know, we'll go out. My family always has like this big old, let's go to Texas Roadhouse and, you know, do something. I'll always take a picture of me and my dad and all that stuff there, right? So this year I thought instead, I will just paint a portrait of my dad. Right? So here we go. No reference photo. And I'm done. Ta-da! Well, thanks for tuning in. And I guess maybe we'll paint next time. All right. So that was that. Happy Father's Day, I guess. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No, really, I don't have a dad. I never did. And I don't care. But for all you dads out there that do have dads, I mean, everybody, I guess, has dads. Or do they? I guess you're cloned in a lab, you don't. But for everybody who has dads, my usual is, you know, congratulations being, you know, shot out of a testicle into a vagina. Good job. And or shooting, you know, sperm into a vagina. Good job. Way to be dads, I guess. And all that jibber jab. But I had something else to say about dads, but I forgot what it was. Oh, I don't have a dad. I never had a dad. So, fun fact, my painting is complete. Isn't that nice? Looks just like him. Not there. So, just to be fun, growing up, many people ask me, hey, isn't it sad not having a dad? Don't you miss not having a dad? Your kids must be so proud. They are. How the fuck can you miss something that you never had? Crazy concept, right? When you do not have something in your life, You do not have the understanding that it was ever there. So you cannot consciously idealize, you can't get the concept, you can't get the idea, you don't understand how to miss something that was never a part of it. You just can't. Like, you know, my fruity as hell coffee mug here, which is actually just tea. If I never had this, ever, and it wasn't there, right? Then if it got broke, I wouldn't know what it was like to have had it to begin with. But if I have it, you know, and I break it, I'll go, oh, that sucks. I really liked that cup because it was once in my life. Thus, not having a dad ever, I never had that burden of loss. So it's been way easier not having a dad to begin with. So, you know, to answer that age-old question, is it better to have loved and lost rather to have never loved at all? It's better to have to never love at all than to love and lost. It's that simple. That's the answer to that question. It's way better to have never had something in your life rather than to have had it and lost it, because you don't know what you lost. Simple as that. Never had a dad. Now, then the question arises, well, did you miss out on a bunch of stuff? Oh, I'm sure I did. Do I know what it was? Nah, not really. I could, from a third-party perspective, I suppose, witness other children playing with their dads and see them playing ball or whatever, you know. And I suppose to some degree I could have imagined what life would be like if I had somebody to play ball with, maybe. But at the same time, since I did not have a dad, it never registered. But then again, I was a way different child. So perhaps in my brain, logically, I don't know, maybe most kids would be sad saying, oh, I wish I had that. Whereas my brain just registered as, I do not have that. Go on. My brain is super strictly logical in a lot of senses. So lack of emotion probably played a part in that, to be honest. Kept me very linear in that aspect. So maybe that's the reason why I think the way I do on this subject. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't really have a comparison, you know. Now, but as far as I see it, that's how I see it. If I would have had a dad, hypothetically, and then, like, say he died or something, he would have been an important part of my life, right? Like, not just like a satellite dad, you know, where he was, you know, bang my mom, and then he just, you know, was around like every birthday. Hey, son, I got you a fucking beer and deer catalog for you, you know, and be like, oh, thanks, Dad. I hate beer and deer. So you really know who your son is, you know, kind of dad. If I would have had something like that going on and he died, I still wouldn't have cared. But if I would have had like a real dad, like in part of my life, like, you know, every day, hey, son, proud of you for this or proud of you for that, or let's, you know, work together and let's do stuff together and play ball or whatever. And then he would have died or something, like, say, 10 years old or whatever. Then I'm sure I would have been like, oh, my dad's dead. But nah. So, you know, not having a legitimate caring parent, male gendered, in my life, I don't know. I don't know how to put that in any perspective other than didn't have one, didn't care, didn't affect me. So it's all good. Now I have kids and I try to be the best dad figure that I can be without ever knowing what a dad figure was supposed to be. If that makes sense. because I have no idea what I'm doing, but I don't think any dad or any parent really knows anything about what they're doing. I think they just kind of hope for the best. You know, so I treat them like real people, and I try to prepare them for the real world, and try to be there for them and supportive in everything. You know, I just try to be as positive as I can without letting them get away with everything. I still have to be a dad, but you know, I try. Now here's the thing. There was a gentleman that was my dad, supposedly, and there's a lot of stuff involved in that. Did I ever know him? No. Did he sign the birth certificate? Yes. Did he live literally across the same town I live in? Yeah. Did he ever attempt to meet me? No. You know, did I ever attempt to meet him? Once. And when I was 17, I think, I did give it a shot to go and meet him. And it's funny because I went to school with his stepson. And so I went to his house and I knocked on the door. And the reason why is I was just curious to see who the fuck this guy was who signed my birth certificate, you know. So curiosity killed the cat. I was just like, so the guy who signed my birth certificate literally lives in the same town as me? What? But he's never once gave a shit. I was like, so he's supposed to be my dad, but I was like, okay, at least I want to meet this guy, I guess, you know? And so I went and knocked on the door. Some white trash, redneck looking, you know, straggly man, you know, kind of dude. But he answers the door and I go, okay. And I was like, this is awkward. And I was like, I'm Eric, you know, and he was like, you're my son, huh? You know, and I was all, I guess, I don't know. And he was like, huh. And then he came outside with a shotgun and his stepson in tow and walked off down to the pond where I followed. He didn't say anything else to me, by the way. They shot frogs and got, I don't know, 3 or 4 big old fat bullfrogs. Picked them up, walked back to the house. So we were out there probably, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes maybe or so. No words. Walked back to the house. And that was it. They went in and closed the door, and I was all, well, that answered my questions. So then I left. And I didn't give 2 shits after that. But he came to my house one day, my grandma's house where I live, with a shotgun, drunk as fuck, and was threatening to kill me. And I had to have the police remove him. But he was screaming that if you're not my son, then I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fucking shoot you. You're not even gonna be alive. And he was like buttoning the fucking air conditioner with a gun and stuff. And I was like, all right, guy, you signed the birth certificate. I met you once. You know, I met you once. 2 fucking words to me. Ignore. And now that, you know, somebody somewhere went, oh, you know, Eric doesn't even know if you're really his dad. There's some question about that, you know? So what? Then now he flips out drunk as hell and he wants to shoot me in the face. Like, bro, you need to calm down. You need to take some, you need to pop some little Xannies or something. And so I had him removed. That was the last time I ever saw him, last time I ever had any interaction with him. And then apparently he died, I don't know, like a year and something ago or something like that, I guess. And everybody was like, oh, you know, he died, and oh, here's all the, oh, like, and I was all, and like, I literally met the dude once, had the dude called the cops on the other time he ever came around me. Like, and that's my dad. So it's like, what, how many shits? Let me dig in my ass and see how many shits I give. Oh, guess what? None. And so that's really it. Like, that's who my dad, questionably, again, my dad may or may not have been, but the only interactions I ever had with him, he said 2 fucking words to me, ignored me. I didn't give a shit. Again, I just wanted to, like, at least see him, I guess. By the way, looks nothing like me whatsoever. We have zero. I'm taller than him. Nothing alike whatsoever. Still genetically questionable. He's even my dad. All kinds of stuff. So I kind of don't think so. I kind of think it's some bullshit. So, you know. What does that mean, bro? What is, like, goalposts? What does that one mean, anyway? What do those hands mean? I have no idea. I never do know. Anyway, but so that's why whenever somebody talks about dads or whatever, I always have like a picture of me with my dad, but it's always like my arm around him and stuff. I'm like, oh, hanging out with my dad today for, you know, whatever. And I'm all, and people are like, that's funny. So every single year I do a picture with me and my dad, and he's not there, you know. So that's my joke. And it's pretty funny, I thought. Yep. Hence the blank canvas. It's hilarious. I'm gonna get a napkin for my face. Now, I haven't done any paintings in a while, and I do want to start doing them again. And no, he wasn't much of a dad to any of his kids, I guess. I don't know. I mean, well, he was a hick, from what I understand. My dad's a bitch too. Yeah. I mean, bro, see, that's the thing, is like, I didn't know how to be a dad. Obviously, I didn't have a, I didn't have much of a male father-esque figure growing up. My grandmother's husband was a Marine that just got out and married my grandma, got rid of his own kids, and I think was expecting a bang fest with my grandma there when they were younger. And what he got was suddenly a 3-year-old in the household, because my grandma took me from my mom, who was very young and very irresponsible. And so my grandma pulled me out of my mother's grasp, whatever, into her own grasp, which was very neglective and very abusive. Not because my grandma was neglected, but the gentleman caller was very abusive. And so that sucked dick. So my only male whatever you'd call it, the dude, my father figure, my male figure of my life, was an abusive cocksucker. He's also dead. Now, he died years ago though. But yeah, so I didn't know how to be a dad. It scared the shit out of me. And now I'm just trying to be the best dad I can be. And but I'm just straight up honest with my kids. Like, I'm honest with my kids. I'm like, quit being a dick. Dude, you know, don't be a dick to these other kids. Like my son, he's a monster. He's a beast. I'm sure you guys have seen pictures of my posts and stuff. Kid's almost bench pressing 400 pounds now. He's bench pressing like 370. I mean, he's like jacked. He's a monster. And I've told him I'll whoop his ass if he's ever a bully to these kids. And because he's like easy twice the size of anybody in his school, you know. My dad was never really nurtured growing up. He was the oldest of 7, so he never really nurtured me. Right. See, I was never nurtured. I had no nurturing. I had like anti-nurturing. So I understand that, bro. That was part of my problem, was long story short, about 10 years worth of abuse. And we're talking, you name it, it happened to me for 10 years. It was rough. It got worse over time. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I probably blacked out most of it when I was a young kid, but if I showed emotion, it got knocked out of me, let's say. I was stripped of my ability to show a sensitive or more human side kind of deal. I was called many derogatory terms on a daily basis and told that nobody would ever love me, that I was homosexual regularly. And this is true. You're talking an 8-year-old kid, from like 3-4 years old up to, 12 and 13-ish. So, thank you. And that's the thing, man. He said, well, it's amazing to see how you are with your kids with all you've been through. And that's the thing, dude. Listen, Sean, I highly appreciate that, dude. When I was young, I was fucked up, dude. Like, fucked up. And it is amazing that I'm alive today, let alone not in prison today. And I mean that with all sincerity and 100% fucking factuality, dude. I did some of the most fucked up shit when I was younger. And I mean, I was in heavy therapy, dude. Heavy therapy for a long time. And they couldn't, dude, okay, the past 10 years have been the best 10 years mentally of my life. My wife has worked with me very, very thoroughly to help me understand my lack of emotion and how to grow mentally and emotionally, which has been fantastic. She's helped me to kind of learn my triggers, if you will. I hate that term, but Dolly Polly's and acid just to watch them. Oh, roly polies and acid just to watch them die. Okay, Christina Breaker remembers me when I was really young, but I mean, she only remembers me stabbing her with pencils. So, but still have lead in my wrist. See? Yeah, I know. She likes to throw that in my face a lot. But hey, you got off easy though. And no, there was more than just roly polies and acid to watch them die. I had a skull collection of animals when I was really young. Yep. I used to boil their heads and and I know people these days are all about cancel culture, reaching back into your past. And that's why I don't really talk about it that often, because I don't want people to go. Oh, and Christina, by the way, this is the portrait of my dad. Pretty good, huh? Just like the real thing. Not there. That was the joke. So you came in late. And now I'm talking about, being a real father, being there for your kids and things like that. But because of me being fucked up as a kid, dude, and I'm glad you said thank you again for saying that, you see me with my kids now and how much better, or how I've obviously done pretty good. It was not easy, man. Like, I was afraid that I would damage my kids because of my childhood, because of my past, and because of the way I was back then. I was really afraid, man, I'm gonna fuck up my kids. So it was a real concern overall, but growing up mechanically and the brain broke, where emotionally you're not connected, it's really hard to learn what emotions really are and what they mean and how to work with them when you don't know how they work. That is the most complicated thing, because you understand by watching other people your whole life how they're supposed to do, because that's what I did, and I faked it. The whole time I'm sitting there with the human race around me, I have pretended to fit in as best I could. And I think I've done pretty good. You know? The thing has been, though, is I only reacted according to what I've seen other people react as. So I knew when somebody's cat or dog got hit by a car, you're supposed to be sad. On a personal note, I cracked the fuck up. That's fucked up. I know now that that's fucked up. Then I didn't think that was fucked up. Okay? Then I thought it was funny. It honestly brought me joy. That's where the problem laid. See? Because as a child, you know, I would show any form of emotional response and he would knock it out of me and call me, you know, F-A-G-G-O-T, tell me nobody will ever love me, and then I'm a piece of garbage, and all this other stuff. It taught me the only emotional response is no emotional response. Years later, something negative would happen. The negativity would be the only kind of positive thing there was. To me, that's normal. That's the thing that's the problem. And this is why my therapists and stuff were seriously concerned. And this is why it's a miracle that I'm alive today and not in prison. You know? And it's not because, you know, like, not today, but I mean, like, as of about 20 years ago, I probably should have been either dead, you know, or I would have done something seriously fucked up. Luckily, some major breakthroughs happened, and I was able to get help and survive some of the weirdest, hardest, craziest times. You know, I survived high school. I planned on committing suicide, actually, before I graduated. Like, legitimately I was pretty bad off in school. Nobody knew that. So I'd planned on doing it at school, which is kind of ironically funny. Not really funny, but you know. I planned on doing it at school, though, because I guess I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to feel like I mattered. Just like now, you know, I still have that feeling inside me where I just want to feel like I matter. But at the time, it was really like, nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. So that was my plan. And that sucks. Luckily, like I said, I had some major breakthroughs right then, which allowed me, I was about, I don't know, 17, somewhere about 17 or so. And I had a major breakthrough. That's when I really started kind of being more who I am and started kind of just feeling myself out. I started being more expressively free. And I mean, I got a lot of shit for it being in such a small town with small minds at the time. But it helped me start expressing myself. I started expressing myself through art. I started getting a lot of the built up pressure vented out. I started exploring a lot of my... Oh, yeah, no, Christina, I know you had your own shit too. And I know nobody had any idea. I kept a lot of my demons very hidden because they were not anybody else's burdens to bear but my own. I still believe that today. I'm very... one of the bigger problems I have even now is my walls are so high and so thick. Even if I open the door to let people in, there's like 15 more doors in front of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard for me to let people know what's really happening inside, because when I was so young, to keep myself safe from that asshole, I had to build so thick of defenses, so big of walls, so much, you know what I mean, that I can't let people in. It's so fucking frustrating, but it's the only way to keep myself safe, because I see everybody as a potential threat emotionally. And that's sad, because I know, you know, I miss out on so much emotional growth, spiritual growth, mental growth, connection with people, all kinds of stuff. But I was conditioned that way. So now it's so hard to uncondition that way. Suck. But I have taken a huge step since having kids, bro, to try my best to recognize problems and fix problems. Because one of the biggest dilemmas of having any kind of an abusive thing is it's a cycle. You're abused, shit rolls downhill. When I was abused as a kid, dude, I took it out on my dog and other animals. I never killed my dog. But that poor son of a bitch, dude, I broke his legs, I broke his spine, I broke his jaw, I fractured his head, broke ribs. Dude, we're talking, I fucked him up. Admittably, I fucked him up. It took me over a year when I finally quit being fucked up to him. It took me over a year to get him to come out of the doghouse and trust me. That's fucked up. But I was young. I was young and being abused myself. And I was so little. I was a little guy. And it was fucking garbage. And it was a terrible thing to do. But I didn't understand it was fucked up. Oh, well, thank you. But I didn't understand it was fucked up because there was something way bigger than me doing it to me. So it was okay for me, bigger than that, to do it to that. That was the logic that I was being taught. That's fucked up because then the cycle would continue when I grow up. That's how that shit works. And that's the reason why abusive cycles happen. And that's the bigger problem, the bigger picture. When it comes to bad fathers, bad mothers, because they exist, don't think they fucking don't, because they fucking do. And that pisses me off because sexism is a real thing on both sides. When people say equality, they don't think about the bullshit when it comes to legalities of mothers versus fathers in a courtroom and how mothers always win. Or the abuse factor because mothers are garbage too. It fucking happens, people. But the cycle of violence continues because you're trained to do it to smaller things. So then when you get babies and kids and stuff like that, you get frustrated, you get pissed. And then, maybe it starts out something simple, like you thump them in the fucking head or something, and that moves on something bigger, because that's the scary part. Once you accept one moment, it makes it easier to accept the next one, easier to accept the next one, easier to accept the next one, until it's full on fucking abuse, just knocking them across the fucking room and shit. And you don't do that. So I was always afraid, shit, what if I abuse my kids? What if the cycle comes down? What if the shit keeps going, That thought alone, I think, helped a lot. Because it keeps you conscientious about what you're doing, You pay attention more. Instead of it just being like a casual thing, you're more likely to notice, like, I'm getting pissed off, man. And then you're like, man, oh my God, I almost punch you in the head, kid. Oops. I'm not saying I punch my kids in the head. I'm kidding. Please, DHS, don't come get me. But I've never punched my kids. Not like really. We've play punched, but I've never been mad. None of that kind of bullshit. Never ever play fight when you're mad. That's a good one. If you're play fighting and you start to get mad, fucking quit. Always remember that kind of shit. This is just good in life in general, because you don't want things to escalate. But with knowing my abusive past, I recognized abusive patterns. And luckily, I have not fallen into anything like that in a long fucking time. Years and years and years. Not since having kids. I have been very attentive to anything like that. I do have violent outbursts. It has nothing to do with my violent outbursts have nothing to do with the abuse. It has to do with my brain swelling. So I'm 100% positive. I'm not sure about that. I'm saying that because the doctors know my brain swells and that short circuits my fucking brain. So I'm pretty sure that's what happens. Maybe not. I do know I get my wife thinks I'm autistic, and that could be it too, because I have problems with sight and sound really bad, and I don't like people touching me, but the people touching me could come from my childhood abuse trauma where I don't like people touching me. I'm not affectionate. I don't like connections, like in that sense. Like, I'm just not like, hey, leave me the fuck alone. So there's a big conundrum of craziness. Like, what is it? We don't know. So that sucks. But I do have violent outbursts sometimes, but usually it's an overwhelming amount of sensation, like a whole day full of noise and a whole day full of just sensory overload stuff. And my brain just kind of shuts down and I get like pissed off, but I've never hit anybody or anything like that. I just kind of like get pissed and fuck, and then I just kind of like stomp off and wander out into the wilderness kind of shit. It's weird. So, but I don't break stuff and things like that. I did kick a door in half once, but never hurt anybody. Don't take it out on the kids. Nothing like that. So it's a weird thing though, man. As long as you acknowledge the possibility and you take care and paying attention, figure out what triggers you when you're getting mad, disconnect yourself from the situation, make sure that, everybody understands, hey guys, I'm starting to get pissed off. I need to just get away from the situation and cool down. And you know what I mean? Talk to everybody, that's really what it's about. Now, if you're a hot-headed son of a bitch that likes to fucking hit people, or a heavy alcoholic, drug addict, things that enable your brain to work right, you're going to have a hard time. And abuse is going to be part of your life. That sucks. So it is what it is, man. My truth, my reality is I had no father growing up. I didn't miss having a dad. Didn't. The only time I ever met the guy, he was nothing. He wasn't, a good guy or a bad guy. The second time when he came to me, he was garbage. Then he died. So whatever that was about, the only father figure I ever had was garbage, and taught me nothing positive in life. He only taught me the worst parts of life. And because of that, I got lucky. I am probably one of the very few that fall through the gears of abuse and come out okay. I got lucky because instead of following the cycle of abuse, I said, well, I already know this bullshit. What's on the other side of it? And I tried to go positive. I hate myself. I struggle with suicidal thoughts. I struggle with, depression, the self-hate, all that stuff all the time. Just being honest, I really do. Because it was fucking drowned or smashed, just brainwashed into me for 10 fucking years roughly, And when that is just being told to you every day that you're worthless and you're garbage, and dude, it sucks. I tried suicide 3 times before I was 12. And I was dumb. I didn't really know how to do it. So I failed 3 times, or I guess I succeeded at living 3 times, however you want to look at that. But I mean, I really, really, really meant it, But the thing is when it comes to Father's Day, if you got a good dad, appreciate him. Appreciate him. For sure. If you got a shitty dad, look at them as the example of what not to do. Look at them and say, that motherfucker right there has done the worst job in the world to me. I have got to become better than everything that man is and what that man has tried to make me. Use that as a learning tool and a huge stepping stone to just rise above the bullshit. Because that will be the most important thing to have learned from that guy. Because everything else, I'm sure, is garbage. Plain and fucking simple. You know? Because, I mean, that's your choice. That or else fall into the same habit and just repeat that process. And then you become the thing you hate. You literally become that piece of garbage that pushed his bullshit onto you that I guarantee you was pushed onto him by his piece of garbage parents. And then the cycle continues. What the fuck is the point of that? You know? So nah, be better. Appreciate your good dads. You know? And just throw away the bullshit. And now that I've spieled way too much about my existence, and probably everybody thinks I'm an asshole. At least I was when I was a kid. But I've definitely tried to be a better person now. So, yeah. Brother, I'm still kind of an asshole. But I'm a good father asshole. So, happy ejaculating and making babies day. So, peace out. Painting of my father. And I don't know, maybe people learn something from this. Like, don't be a dickbag to your kids. Raise them as good as you can. And good luck being a dad. Yeah. Okay. Bye, I guess. Next time I really will paint something. I'm going to get back to this. Okay, bye.